Hey folks, this is Vent with Ads Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Siege of Centauri. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 15 bucks. So what is Siege of Centauri? Well, this is an Ashes of the Singularity themed tower defense game. Ashes of the Singularity being a real-time strategy game. Stardock Entertainment basically took the assets from Ashes of Singularity and put it into this tower defense game. So if you've played Ashes and you go in to play this, you'll recognize immediately, oh, I recognize this dreadnought, or I recognize this vehicle, or I recognize this sound effect. So yeah, I mean it's not bad. I'm just saying it's samey. So if you enjoyed the art and the sound effects from Ashes, then you'll like it here too. So Siege of Centauri is a fairly good tower defense game. I think the first tower defense game that I ever played was Defense Grid, and then following that, Soul Survivor. And the story in Siege of Centauri didn't really grab me as much as Defense Grid. In Defense Grid, there was this AI robot that was constantly talking about raspberries. That sticks in my mind. When I go to play this game, yeah, people are talking, but nothing really grabbed me. But typically, I don't care about stories in tower defense games. I'm more about, is the gameplay good? Is it fun? Siege of Centauri has a campaign mode. There's an endless mode, and then there are scenarios. In the campaign, each mission has 3 goals that you're trying to complete. And in completing these goals, you earn these stars, and then you can place these stars into your turrets to permanently upgrade them. Now, you can take away these stars too if you need to. Like you can swap them out. So if you don't like this upgrade on this turret, you can undo it and attach it to this or what have you. So that's kind of cool. So there's a lot of different turrets in the game. Some are, single target damage, rapid fire. Some are anti-air. You've got this chain lightning tower. You've got this thing over here that can shoot through shields. You've got this thing over here that can take down shields very quickly, the ion cannon. There is this Minos cannon that can equally do a lot of damage, but only against hull. So it's a matter of trying to figure out, okay, what towers do I want to take with me into the next mission, and which ones do I apply upgrades to so that I have the best chance of beating this. In addition to your towers, you do have these buildings on the map that you have to protect. You might have a metal refinery, for example, that produces metal for you. Metal is used to construct towers. There might be other buildings that generate energy, and energy is needed to call down reinforcements or use special abilities. You can call down this huge mech, for example, or reinforcements, or activate powerful abilities like orbital strikes or what have you, using your energy. So you're going to be producing 2 different kinds of resources here passively. And these buildings will help you do it so as long as you keep them alive. You've also got this home base that you're protecting. If that goes, you're dead. But you can upgrade that along with everything else. For example, your colony actually fights. So if you've got enemies making it through your line of defense, your towers, and they reach your base, it's not helpless totally. It'll shoot at enemies. And some of your tower upgrades that you can take actually benefit your colony and other mech, or your call down mechs and stuff. Like the one upgrade that I put on the one turret improved the mech in some way. So it's weird that some upgrades on some towers directly affect other things. It's just something to think about. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think the biggest thing that I like about this game is that there are 10 different difficulty levels. I think that's the biggest selling point here. As a tower defense game, it's okay. Again, it's Ashes themed. It's got your, stop things from getting from point A to point B. Check, check, check. You've got all sorts of different towers. Check. All sorts of different enemies. Check. But there's 10 different difficulty levels, and very rarely do I ever see that in any game that I play. That is probably the biggest thing that stood out to me in Siege of Centauri, and that is pretty darn awesome. There's also a slow down ability. Like, you can sort of slow/pause the game, and the harder you make the game in the difficulty settings, the less you have of it. On the easiest difficulty, you have unlimited time, which is kind of cool. So you can kind of take the game as easy or as hard as you want. And that's, I think, the hallmark of a great game, is one that allows you to adjust the difficulty to any setting that you want. There is endless modes, like I said, although there are only 3 maps, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, there was a lot more potential there. Scenarios, these are things that you can create. There's a map creator, map editor. But when you go to the workshop under the scenarios to get more, there's only 5 maps there in all. So I'm like, well, this game's been out for about a year now. Where's the rest of them? Like, why isn't the community going nuts with these? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. So, again, there's a missed opportunity there. There's a map editor, but I only see 5 maps in the download section. So I don't know what's up with that. It kind of sucks. I don't know if the editor is just hard to use. I don't really mess with those kind of things because I'm not very technical that way. But yeah, Siege of Centauri. As far as tower defense games go, this is a solid choice. It's not the best. It's solid. Again, when I look at games like Defense Grid, each level of Defense Grid, there's like 10 to 12 different things you can do to it. Every mission, there's like 12 different modifiers. You can play it on this mode, you can play it on that mode, you can play it on this mode, so there's different modifiers. Whereas in this game, again, you've got this campaign, there's 3 fixed things that you're trying to complete in order to gain these stars. But there's really no way to like replay these campaign missions in different ways. Like there's a missed opportunity there. Why not make every map endless? Why only the 3 in that one section of the main menu? Why wouldn't you add an endless mode to every single map? Even if it's not balanced, just, maybe make the endless mode available so players can try it. Make other different modes available, like no upgrading of turrets, or, just different things that Defense Grid would have done to modify the maps in different ways to give them more replayability. I mean, as it stands now, once I've 3-starred a map, very rarely do I find myself coming back to it because there's no reason to, because I've got the stars I need. I'm moving on to the next one, whereas in Defense Grid, sometimes I'll go back to a map just to play it on Endless, or just to, just to try something different. So I'm not saying that this game is bad. I'm just saying it's a solid tower defense game with missed opportunities, I think. Again, the story didn't grab me, really, and it's lacking some replayability on its levels via these extra modes that I'm talking about, extra features. That being said, it has some really cool ideas. Again, the ability to call down mechs and defenses and, orbital strikes, all the different towers that are in the game, being able to upgrade them in various ways. That's all cool. I'm totally fine with that. In that department, it does a good job. The graphics department, it's pretty good too. Again, I like Ashes of the Singularity, so again, I kind of like the art style here too. Again, my biggest complaint is just it's missing some key things that I think that would help me come back to it more often. But if you're looking for a solid tower defense game, I'd say look at Siege of Centauri. It has a lot of customization in terms of difficulty, so more than likely you'll find a difficulty setting that is just perfect for you. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.